out in this weather. Thank you for coming. We were talking backstage, only Chicagoans would be so diehard and they would come out in this weather. Thank you so much. My name is Elysabeth Alfano, and you are at Fear No Art Presents The Dinner Party. And what I do here is I invite 3 Chicago or national celebs and a known chef who cooks for us. So that sounds pretty cool, but what's great is that as you guys, I hear you clanking along, you guys are also participating in this. So you're getting great appetizers tonight from Chef Tim Graham of Travell. He's also giving us entrees. We've got wine from City Winery. We've got chocolate from Vosges. So we're all eating and having a great time tonight. But what makes it even better is that you're part of the conversation. How do you keep art from overtaking your life?
Well, I think in life you need balance. Otherwise, you would constantly walk into the street and get hit by a fucking car.
I think
Go for it, sir.
an interesting
You take it.
career set for that for sure. I think I found it very beneficial, and I see great future in people that when they're younger don't have that balance, and it is just a complete immersion in the art and a dedication to it. You don't flip the light on and off. You just live food. You go home, you read food. You don't get paid much, but when you have enough, you go eat someplace. And I really think it's important at some stage in your career, the early stage, to just have no balance.
Deep immersion.
A deep immersion. It was, sitting with cooks at True, having beers after work. We would talk how we always try and found this balance in the dish, but then our life was just out of whack. We'd work 14 hours, go back in, and just so much pressure.
Only 14 hours, Chef?
Oh, that was a good day.
But what if here's the thing. What if they don't have the economic means to make that happen? I do believe that, believe me, I'm a big fan of that. That's exactly what I did. It's exactly what you said.
And still do.
Is fully immerse myself in my art. But if you don't have the economic means to make that happen, I don't want someone to feel less than because they couldn't give that, because they also had their waitress job, because they also had that temp job or
I know
whatever.
a lot of cooks with 2 jobs.
Exactly.
And it's just part of the sacrifice that you make to learn from the best.
But you get immediate feedback if a dish isn't selling, right?
You get immediate feedback from your sous chef, that is for sure.
I like the fact that it's the word sacrifice is used.
And you get immediate feedback, Susan, if somebody's not laughing, right? If you're not getting if you don't feel it from the audience, and you're getting it from your audience too, right?
I play for joy, and then they go, "Oh, that was fun."
I do think, though, later in life, you do need to find that balance. I mean, you can't burn that fast and that hard.
Without burning out.
Yeah, I mean, and you just change things. You all of a sudden have a girlfriend, a wife. These things are deserving of as much of you as you can give to what you do. And it would be selling them short to pull the punches on offering yourself.
Right. So you have to be there in the moment for them as well.
Yeah, you got to shut work out.
In Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell talks about 10,000 hours of what you're talking about, living and eating, 14 hours a day food, 7 days a week. And did you have that in your acting and
I also have friends
theater stuff? Yeah.
They are comedy savants, but they are, in terms of life,
out of balance.
What?
Not in balance?
Not in balance. Like, I don't know. I don't even want to use the word autism because it's not okay for what that is. They are so driven to this that they don't have a concept of what it is to be a member of society. And I do believe, yes, the balance happens later. Maybe it is when you are young and you have the energy to have 3 jobs. But I just believe that responsibility as a member of society needs to be there as well, as much as anything.
How is it for the people at Looking Glass? Because I know they're such a dedicated crew.
It's actually a great conversation because in a lot of ways we are both we think of ourselves as producers as well as artists because we're an ensemble theater company. We vote on the season. We have this weird dual, perhaps schizophrenic, but these 2 aspects of our personality. So if I seem normal, that's probably why, because you're hearing my artistic
your normal side,
side, and I rarely actually get the opportunity to just be an actor, or just be an artist, or a writer, or whatever, because we're always balancing it. And one of our longtime serving board members, Celia Leventhal, is here, so she knows that we have this we have to be responsible producers, and we are. So we're balancing what is a season, what is the audience going to want, as opposed to just going crazy or not, I don't mean going crazy, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean just immersing ourselves in the work itself. We have this other producerial part of our brains working too, because we're responsible for, to keeping the organization alive, which means we have to have a crowd pleaser.
This is the weird thing, is what happens when you turn into an institution. I remember when you guys started, and you just went, I like these people, I want to play with them, let's make up something fun.
Exactly.
And then all of a sudden, years later, you become an institution and have board members and have a responsibility to yourselves and the community, and that kind of, I don't want to say that dictates the art, because I still believe that you truly do what you want to do, but I certainly believe that there is
you try and balance that, and you try and return, and you try and create a safe space where the artists who do come into the rehearsal room can release any producerial responsibility whatsoever. They're within the four walls of that space. They can do whatever they need to do to create a great piece of work.
But that's not easy for the part of you watching on the outside going, is this going to work?
So,
Is this going to end sometimes?
Right.
So we agree initially,
It's going to end in time.
you kind of immerse yourself in it, and then you look for some of the
Ways to get life.
mechanisms make something sustainable so that it continues as it has
Sustainable
life.
is the big word right now. And you asked about where are we, and in the span of things.
25
Yes, we've
years into it.
just had our 25th anniversary, and we want to be here 25 years from now too.
Yes.
But sustainability is key.
And I love what you said there. It's huge, to provide an environment for people to just come in and cook as they can. And so I need to make sure there's spatulas. I need to make sure there's rondos, that the dishwasher's there, that they have the food to cook.
They have
You
the
just have to make
tools
sure it's good.
They
to
don't
be their
need,
creative selves.
They don't need any of that. The move from cook to chef is really one of spreadsheets. Sure, you get to create more, but it's really one of fiscal responsibility.
Right.
And as long as you get the best, happiest people cooking purely, if they have everything they need to do, and it's a safe environment to do it in.
The difference
where they can
between
take
cook
risks
and shelf.
collaborate.
That's interesting that you said it's the difference between cook and chef is sustainability, is the fact that they can just go and you go, are there spatulas, and it's spreadsheets. Where do you get the opportunity to say, with my responsibility and status becomes also more joy and creation? Where do you get that and balance that between the fact that you have to go, we've got 20 pounds of radishes we've got to use this week?
It's training the staff. I can still remember the first time I had a garde manger guy become a meat cook, and I'd really worked with him for years. And one day I'm looking back and I'm like, God, Johnny is so good now. And it used to be about the next foie gras dish and the next one. I'm like, man, I'm so bad. You see what I did? And then really over just a very few years, it became about developing those guys behind me. And that is truly where it's just, because food comes and goes. You're going to make a new soup every season, and the cooks, you got maybe 3-4 years with them. And to see their development, I think, is really a blessing.
And so that's the mark of a good leader. I mean, I know with Mick at The Annoyance is that when we all started, we just wanted to play together. And now I think Mick can look around and say, I can go off and direct a show on main stage at Second City and trust that all my teachers, like Susan and Tim Paul and Megan and all these people, are going to take care of what our vision is while creating stuff that I trust will be good based on the fact that I enjoy their work or whatever the hell it is. That's a huge thing.
But you guys are also, go ahead.
I was just saying that obviously, after all these years in the business, you guys have become very disciplined, and that's why you didn't eat your chocolate yet.
Yes, I know. I hope you guys have all gotten your Rose chocolate.
I'm going to bring this to my husband.
But you guys are all saying that at some point you have to be obsessive about what you do. And it's interesting because a lot of people say, oh, well, you work in the arts. But I think the great lessons about working with artists or interviewing artists is that a lot of what we're talking about here applies to the lives of everybody, whether you're trying to be an accountant and move to investment banking or make that shift for your life, or you're trying to find what's right for you. We had the general manager here of the Bears who was on, and he was talking about how if you're going to do anything, at some point you've got to be obsessive about it. And I think that's true. You've got to feel that passion and really be obsessive at some point, or you're not really going to take it off the ground.
Well, see, but everybody I know who's an improviser, I go, yeah, you're an improviser, or you're a comedian, yeah. When I see an accountant from Iowa, I'm like, oh my God, you're so exotic and sexy because you're an accountant from Iowa. You can do something I can't do.
Absolutely.
So I think that kind of admiration society goes all over. It takes everybody to make this all work.
Yes, I have a great quote for that. Thank you for that segue. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. That's Steve Jobs. I hope this for myself. I hope this for everyone at the table. I hope this for all of you. We're going to stick around. We're going to be drinking. We're going to be here. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming. I know.